Hello, I believe you have heard of the trapezium rule and calculus integration, and you are wondering what is it all about. The trapezium rule is more or less one method that we can use to find the approximate value of an integration when there is no neat formula to find the integration. When you find a curve, we don't have a neat formula, or it is impossible to find the exact values of the area under the curve and or between the curve and that of what the x-axis, spanning from the interval on x-axis as a to b, is basically an integration. Now, you will also ask, why are we trying to introduce a trapezium rule into integration, where I can just go ahead and integrate? Now, one important of trapezium rule is that it is used in harnessing the energy, or yes, the energy of the wind by the turbines. I believe you'll be seeing the wind turbines, or better still, the windmills. Those things that look like fan that go rounds. It is in the mountainside, on the open spaces. There is a calculations that goes in to be able to harness the energy from the wind into electricity. That is where your trapezium rule will play. Try to identify the highest point at which the wind is flowing, for the turbines to convert it from the wind to electricity. That is one key aspect that the trapezium rule can be applied. Now, but let's come into its calculation when we want to find integration. It is also known as what? The approximate evaluation of what? Integration, to find the approximate value. So if you are given an integration or a function where you have sketched your curve and your curve look like this, or any other aspect, and you are asked to find the area bounded by that curve and the x-axis, ranging from some values on the x-axis. So for example, we have a and we have what? B. These a and b are basically the limit of integration, the lower limit and the upper limit. So if we are finding the area, we know this is the area bounded. I think my line is not straight enough, but we can manage. This is the area bounded by the curve and that of what? The x-axis, spanning from A to B. So since we are saying that the integration is not going to be neat, we don't have a neat formula to do that, we can divide this into sub-interval, or we can divide it into vertical stripe. Let me just use stripe, or better still, we call it sub-interval. That is dividing this into equal intervals. Good. So now when we divide this into sub-interval, a series of sub-intervals, you will see that each of the stripe that I'm calling the vertical stripe, each of the stripe will be representing a trapezium. We know a trapezium is in this nature. We have two parallel lines. This is parallel to each other, and a transverse, and a height which is perpendicular to the base. So you can see that from here to here, we are going to have perpendicular. This will be the height. So on this stretch is going to be the height of the stripe, and each of the height is going to be the same. So now if I am dividing this into stripes, vertical stripes, I am dividing the function into stripes. So let's just say we have, this is the, this is going to be equals to y. So this will be our y1, which is y0. Then we can have here to be y1, y2, y3, y4, yn minus 1, and yn. So you can see that this is 3, 4. If I pick n minus 1, I'll get this. Then we are going to the last n. This n is telling us how many stripes. So the vertical stripes or the interval, sub-interval, we call it what? N. That's the number of stripes we are holding. The trapezium that we are holding, that is the stripe. All right. So if each of them represents the trapezium, then the area under this curve is just the summation of what? The area of the first trapezium, second, third, fourth, 5, 6. You add all of them on a normal. If I am to find the area bounded and I have series of trapezium, I'll just find their areas because already we know the area of a trapezium, right? Good. Now, if the same is being extended here from A to B, I'll still have this as the region. Then, if I divide it into stripes, each of the stripe will still be y0, y1, 2, 3, 4, n minus 1, yn. Then the width here is going to be the height. So from here to here is going to be the height. Look at it. So we can say that a vertical stripe with equal width, and that width is going to be the height. Remember, this is the height, this is a parallel sides. I believe you are following through. All right. Now, in finding the area, we are going to say the area of a trapezium, a known formula. We know area of a trapezium is half h times the sum. Let me use different variables. Okay, m plus n. Okay, since I have a, b here. So, half times the height times the sum of the parallel sides. The top, the down. We add them. So you can see that if I pick this, it's going to be in this form. So this is going to be the top, the down, the height. So I'll be adding all of them. Let's take it one by one. So area is going to be half of the height times the sum, top and down. That will be y0 plus y1. I am referring to this. The first one. Then we add the area of the second one, which also have a top and down. y1, y2. The area of the third one, this is the third one, y2, y3. We can see that I'll be adding that and add up to this as yn minus 1 plus what? Yn. I'm adding all of them. So area of the number of this thing you have, the stripe. Don't forget the n stands for the sub-interval, number of stripes that you are having. Alright. So if you look through, since it is an addition and each is a multiplication, half is common. So factorization. H is common. So factorization. So I'll be factorizing this to have my area half h into bracket, leaving y0, y1 in the case of this, y1, y2 in the case of this, y2, y3 in this case, then yn minus 1, yn. We get that? We are adding them. And if you look through, this is going to be y1, y2. That will be 2y1. y2, y2. 2y2. y3, since we are moving in order, the next is going to be y3. So y3, y3, y4, y4. Then the last one will just be there. So you can see in the middle, we'll be having double. This is single, the last will be single. So we can regroup them as in 1 on 2. Let me bring a bigger bracket. Y naught and this are going to be singular. They are the only singular one we have. The last one, the first and last. Then plus, I'll be having 2 of this. 2 of this. So 2y1, 2y2. In that series, I can be able to factorize the 2 out. So I pick the 2 out, y1, y2, y3, then we have yn minus 1 in that bracket. So this becomes the formula for finding or for evaluating approximate values of an integral. So if you want to put it in a word form, we can say area will be half the width of stripe, that is the width of stripe is h, times we can have first plus last, pardon me, my board is not enough, then plus, let's bring a bracket, twice all the others. So we can pick this as an acronym or mnemonics, that if I'm looking for the area that is going to be approximated by using trapezium rule, is just going to be half the width of the stripe, that is the edge. We are multiplying times the first plus the last plus twice all others. So you can see if I have a lot of intervals, I will just pick the first and last, then twice the remaining ones in the middle. I guess that concept is clear. Alright, so now we can see that all these things we can be able to get a function. This is the function. Function 1, function 2, we can get it from the question. But the height is what is missing. So how do we arrive at the height? The height is going to be this one. We are taking this 1, 2, 3 from where? From here to here. Don't forget it's an interval. So we are dividing from A to B into sub-intervals. So that sub-interval will take into consideration the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit. So B minus A. So if I find a difference, how many times am I dividing it? Or how many sub-intervals am I having? If I'm having 4, it means after I find a difference from here to here is 10. 10 divided by 2, 2 being the width of the stripe, I can be able to divide by the n. So this becomes the formula in finding the height. If you want to find the height, we can use this. Now, remember this n is the vertical stripe or the sub-interval. And what is the sub-interval? Let me shade black, blue. Black, blue. So if you are looking for the sub-interval, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's the sub-interval. Look at it, the sub-interval. Then it means there's an interval. Sub-interval, there should be an interval. So the interval is from here, from the A, from here to here. That is 1 here, here, here. So all the lines you are seeing here are standing in for the interval. So we can have the interval the same as what? The ordinate. So the ordinate or the interval is different from the sub-interval. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But the stripe will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it means if a question mentions that Find the approximate value under the curve with what? 7 or 10 or 8 ordinates, 8 intervals. It means they are saying the interval is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you can remember that if you have the interval, you will not have 7 stripes. You'll be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to find the height, so let's say this is the first one, the second one, to find the height, when you are given the ordinate, will be n minus what? 1. You didn't get that one clear, right? This is when you were given a stripe. Let me just call it, you were given the trapezium. The number of trapeziums you have divide the curve into. You use the n for the trapezium. Then the n minus 1, it means to get a trapezium, you need lines. 2 lines will come together to give you one trapezium. So since we have a beginning, we have an end, there will be more of the lines to give us less of the stripe, if I can put it that way. And I'm sure you are smiling, you have gotten the difference. So this is the introduction into a trapezium rule. This must be in your mind. Then this, the final one, translated as a formula, must be in your mind. These are the 2 things that we need in order to estimate. Don't forget, we are going to pick the next episode where we will pick a question and try to bring into bear what we've learned in this section. Don't forget, we are doing this together. Go to the comment section after watching. Leave your thoughts in there. Whether you followed, you need some clarification, you appreciate what you have watched, leave a comment. Let's get interactive. Don't be stingy. Share with somebody to also benefit from it. Like the video after watching and subscribe if you have not. Bye.